Good morning. It is another foggy morning here in the homestead. So beautiful. 65 degrees out right now. It's supposed to be 88 again for a high. We have that for like the rest of the week until the weekend. And yeah, we're going to be hot and sweaty. Last week we were like 42 in the morning, 60s for high. So it's kind of crazy, the weather swing, but I'll take it. We got more rain coming in, so we need to get, well, we're going to show you guys. We haven't showed you a lot of the progress down here by the workshop. Yeah, you can't see it right now because it's foggy. But since we've been having some dry weather, they've been able to finish that all up. And that means we need to take care of our end now and get it all cleaned up, smoothed out, grass seeded. And we need to get some hay down so everything doesn't get washed out on the big hills. So that is the goal for today. And hopefully it's not too hot and sweaty, but I think it's gonna be. Good morning, girls. Where you going? They like to follow us up lately when we're bringing the cows. We got some free range goats and sheep. They're getting some goodness, so going around doing our weed whacking for us. You can't complain. It's a win-win. So last night I was down here and I finished up wiring up all of the lights on the overhang. So we have all of the lights for the back 3 rooms and then the overhang wired up, and we have it temporarily powered with our little Safari ME over here, which is going to be nice. Gina hasn't seen it yet. Let's get this powered up.
Do you have to turn the switch on? Oh.
What do you think?
I have not seen it yet. I could see it from the house though, which was pretty cool. Like the light being on down here.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't know you had new lights up. I like it. Do you?
I do. They're nice and bright now, but once we have them all pointed down and we have all the sheathing up, it'll be even brighter, but this is going to be nice. I kind of went overboard with lights in the overhang here, but my plan is to have workbenches out here. And if I'm working on something, or if anybody's out here working on a workbench, you want to be able to see. You don't want to have a flashlight or anything if you're building, say, fishing flies or sharpening a chainsaw or doing anything. You want to be able to see what you're working on. So,
what am I going to make on the workbench?
You going to build some fishing flies?
No, I don't think that's probably going to be on my list.
What are you going to build then?
I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Gotcha.
But this is another reason why we put the doors on the inside, because we want workbenches on both sides. So we'll have long workbenches. Maybe there'll be Al and a Gina workbench. And I'm sure Al will put some of his stuff on my tool bench, because he seems to like to do that.
You said you were taking the greenhouse from over, so that means this is all mine.
No, I'm going to start taking over. I'm going to start taking, maybe I'll have all my stuff on your bench.
So I'm thinking over here will be the workbenches. We have the lights to really shine down on the workbenches. We have space on this wall for more workbenches if we want or need, but that could also be like shelving and racking. But we can also keep a lot of stuff up there. So time will tell what we use everything for, but it's really going to be nice to have all the extra lighting so when we're doing work, we can really see, because that's, I don't know, I don't like working on stuff when you can't see. Say if you're sharpening knives, doing any kind of work, it's nice to be able to see right in front of you and not having to like strain your eyes. So the older I get, the more I appreciate that too. So we had this area cut, and then we had it all leveled off to build the workshop in the future site of a barn. And they were able to get it shelved off, but they weren't able to do like a big final grade because we've been getting a ton of rain this summer. So it wasn't like dry enough, long enough to finish up all of it. We were able to luckily get the area for the shop pretty well, and then we were able to stone it to finish it off. But all of this, they couldn't come over here and like do a nice final grade. So they're able to do that the other day. So now we need to get this prepped and ready for grass seed. The bank all got washed out from all the rain we've been getting. So they were able to go over there. I'll show you, clean that up somewhat. There's still little bits of ruts, but it's not that bad. Once we get all the grass growing, it'll be in really good shape. We have a ditch over here, so if any water from up there coming up the road comes down, it'll hit the bank and go over that way. So the big thing is to get this all seeded, and then we're going to cover it with mulch hay to hold all of the dirt in place. We don't want it washing out again because that's not any fun. But let me show you down here. It came out really nice. We were able to get the old pasture, our oldest pasture, blended in with this hillside nicely. We got a good ditch over here. We got it all cleaned out with a ditch. Right where I'm standing, I don't know how good you can tell, we have a little bit of a ditch we're gonna do, so that way we have the barn and the roof is coming this way. Anything that like rain, snow coming off the roof will run on the back, go to the ditch, and if it doesn't go to that ditch, it'll come over here and then run into the ditch, and it can't just keep running down this way and washing all of this out. So we're trying to think of like water moving, water flowing, how to prevent erosion, and just keep everything where we want it and not going everywhere.
We had a culvert put in and have like a roadway, so now we can go through this way and come around this way. So that has been really, really awesome. It just makes it all connect, and it works. It's been working out awesome.
So we have the 18-inch culvert here. We got the nice little driveway over back into the pasture, which makes it so we can go that way, back to the driveway, then in a circular driveway over this way. So that's gonna be nice. So the ditch just comes back out over here on the other side, and then we can go back out and let the water flow where it wants to go. So the plan is the barn have this end like the animal end, and they can access the pasture over there. We'll have a little barnyard here. There'll be a driveway where I am. I don't know if it'll all be gravel or if we'll grass this, and then this will be like the front side, and then the back side over there will have more storage and hay, so that way if we can come down out of the driveway and equipment can easily access this side and the animals can access over there. And then right behind me over here we have a little driveway in. We have an access point right here, which we plan on putting a gate and then fencing off all of this area for the animals' bigger barnyard. So that way we can let the animals out from the barn right there over here to through the gate, and they'll have all this for a barnyard. This will most likely be like the sacrificial area. So, you know, they're not having grass to eat on pasture. We can put them down here and just have this one area. It's close to the barn, so it'll be easy in and out moving. So that is going to be really nice.
Especially in the winter time.
Yes.
For sure.
I'm just looking forward to having that, having a close access and having a good fenced in area at some point to keep them. So the big thing we need to do now is get this all dragged and seeded, because we're going to be having more rain starting tomorrow night. They're calling for actually a good amount of rain again, which I don't like. We could just use like a nice little soaking rain. That's what I hope we get, but I don't know if that's what we're going to get. They're calling for like a ½ inch of rain every day for like 4 days. But it's only like a 58% chance of that. So I'm hoping that maybe we'll just get some nice little light drizzles to soak everything in, and then we can get grass established, especially on the hillside. That would be awesome. So this is what we need to work on.
Right, but we've had like 4 days with no rain, so that's huge.
I know. We haven't had a big stretch like this. I think we only had one other one when we first started building the building. It wasn't hot like this, but we had no rain, which was nice. And then we started getting the rain again. So a little dry spell. Feels good. So when we did our last pasture, we dragged it with a drag, and I have the drag over here. We're going to dig it out and we'll bring that down below. That's what we're going to do, is we're going to drag it all. It's pretty flat. We just want to smooth it out and loosen up the dirt just a little bit so we have some good contact for the seed. And we did that on these pastures. It worked really well. And then we also have another secret weapon that we're going to be putting down. There's two different ways you can run the drag. You can do it this way, which has these teeth down, so it's more aggressive. We're gonna try that, but if it's too aggressive, we'll flop it over and it'll just be like a chain link fence dragging, and then you won't be like digging up so much. So we'll try it and see how it goes. It all just depends on what your ground and soil's like.
How did we do it before?
I think we did it both ways. It was just depending. This thing's been put through the ringer, that's for sure.
Rocks and sticks and more rocks.
But it did its job, so.
For sure.
I can't complain. It's just the links that hook it together end up getting stretched out when you get hooked on stuff. Maybe it'll kind of straighten itself out a little bit as we pull it.
That's like one of those brain teaser games.
That's what I was exactly thinking. It's like, yeah, a brain teaser, a Chinese puzzle that you spend a long time trying to fix it. I should probably take my mower deck off, but I hate to take it off because I'm just going to have to put it right back on to finish doing the mowing we've been doing around here. So I am just going to try doing it with it on. I'm going to pull forward a little bit, get the slack out, see how it goes, and hopefully it all works well, because that'll save me a lot of time not having to take that off.
It's not it's not a big area.
No, that's what I'm saying. I hate to take that off just to work this area and then have to put the mower deck back on to finish mowing all the trails and the side of the road and stuff. So we have this area, and then we have down on the side of the workshop and behind it. We'll get these areas all dragged, and then we can get it seeded. The big one is to get done is to get this area seeded and mulched with mulched hay, because that'll help keep all of the dirt where it needs to be. All right, let's get in here and we will get it, the slack taken out of the chain. It's gonna be a dusty job. Doing a pretty good job. I just need to, if I can get this kink taken out, it'll do a lot better. If we end up getting any rocks, we should just throw them right in the ditch, because when we do get water in there, that'll help slow the movement down. So any rocks that we pull up, we'll just throw right in the ditch. But yeah, if I can get this straightened out some, we'll be pretty good. But I don't know what the heck happened here. One of them's like looped around and looped over. That one's gonna stay. That's pretty good now. It is getting hot already. I am really happy with how this section came out. If we could just get some good gentle rain and not flooding rain, this will grass up nicely. It's just that drag's been working out perfectly. We got this side all done. We got half of behind the shop all done. Let's get that part done. And then we're gonna have some rocks to pick up. We also gotta go across the culvert and just drag the area that's not on the steep bank, but get some of that all dragged up and get that prepped and ready for seed. All right, I am excited to get this all grassed in. This is going to make a nice barnyard, and then once we can get this pasture area done, right now it's not as big of a concern to get that done because that's already grassing in on its own, so we don't gotta worry about it washing out, but I wanna get down there and add our other secret ingredient and really get it growing good. Well, that's gonna do it for this side. It looks really good. Really happy with how this all came out. Got some rocks to pick up, but that's no big deal. Now we gotta meander back down around and get on that side and get that side smoothed out like this, and this stage will be done. Well, I'm really happy with how that came out. We got quite a few rocks to pick up, but all in all, it's looking really good. Can you see what you're picking up? Not really. I know, right? We're out here picking up rocks, and I think it's time to call it because you can't even see what are rocks and what's the dirt right now because it's so dark. It's crazy how early it's getting dark out now.
It's crazy.
We'll have plenty of time in the morning to pick up rocks and see what we're doing before we put the seed down. Come on, pigs. We started picking up rocks last night and it got too dark to see, so we had to stop. So we're gonna finish picking up the rocks on this hillside. We wanna do this area first, get the rocks picked up, get it seeded, put our secret ingredient on top, and then we're gonna put the hay down because this is the big area we wanna put hay on because we don't want the bank getting washed out. And it's gonna be another hot scorcher today. So we wanna try to get this area done because the hay is not that fun to do. So we wanna get this done, get onto that, and then we'll do the rest of it. And then that hopefully will make the rest of it not seem so bad.
Yeah, we already had to do a pep talk because I remember the last time we had to spread the mulch hay and it was not fun and it was warm. So I think I'm ready. If we would have did this last night, I would have been rolling down that probably.
Hopefully that'll slow down the water movement a little bit so it doesn't tear everything up. All right, so we're gonna put the grass seed mix out by hand. We're doing a TAR mix. It's Alsiki clover, red clover, and then a Timothy mix. So it's mostly Timothy with a bunch of clover mixed in. So you know, yeah, I'll put it in the 5-gallon bucket. I want to spread it by hand because all of the seeds are really tiny. So this way we can know exactly how much is down. If I just do it behind the side-by-side and with this tiny seed, you can waste a lot more than you really need. So I'm just going to kind of reseed where the grass is already coming in a little bit, not crazy. And then we have our secret weapon to put over after, which should really help all of the biological life, including where the grass already is. I want to get this whole strip done first. So once I get this little area done, we're gonna set up and use the secret ingredient to get all this growing magically. So the secret ingredient we're going to be using to grow our pastures here is from Redmond's. It's called Grow. It's, get some out. Comes in totes, but you can also get it in small containers. So if you want to put it in your garden or if you have a small lawn, you can get it in like 8-pound bags. But this is a fertilizer, but not just a fertilizer. This has organic chicken manure in it for a fertilizer. And then it's also loaded with 𝐸𝑚𝑎𝑖𝑙, which are like for sequestering carbon. Then there is minerals in here. There's sea salts. There's volcanic clay. So a normal fertilizer just feeds like your grass or whatever plant you're trying to grow. This is going to feed the soil, and that's what we want. We don't want to be growing dirt that grows like just grass or whatever. We want to have good microbial life in our soil, so we're growing the soil to grow good grass. And the better grass you grow, the more nutrients that are in it, and the more nutrients that are in the grass and your animals eat, the more nutrient dense your food's going to be, and the better health you're going to have. And that all starts here, believe it or not. So I am really excited to get this out. We haven't used this yet, but all the research I've done, this is like the big key. So we're going to be putting this down, and you can put it down anywhere from 100 to 300 pounds per acre. I'm excited to see what it does to help all the grass seed germinate, to get the grass growing. And I'm really curious to see what everything's going to look like next spring. I know when we put our chickens out on the pasture, their manure helps a ton. And this has organic chicken manure in it, but it also has the 𝐸𝑚𝑎𝑖𝑙s, the minerals, the salt, the clay. So that's going to make a huge difference. All right, we'll bring an extra load with us. It'll be interesting to see how this spreads. I'm gonna turn it on, then I have to get in and start going. If it stops, let me know, because we had that issue last time. Yeah, see? Okay. Feel like we must be getting empty. We are. The other nice thing about the Redmonds is you don't got to worry about overdoing it. You're not going to kill anything if you put too much down. You'll just have more than what you really need. You can see all of it down on the ground, mixed in with the seeds. So now we can go get a bale of hay and start the worst part. That sun is out and it's getting warm, but we want to get this covered up with as much mulch hay as we can before we get the rain. So there's a couple of reasons we like putting hay down. Is you put it down, it'll help hold the moisture in, so the grass seed you do have down germinates better. It helps erosion control, because when the rain hits this, it gets in here and it dissipates, and it can't just like rush down and wash everything out. It still does, but not as bad. We make sure we get our hay from a good source. We know what they put on their pastures. So we're also getting carbon that we're adding to our soil, and their hay is also loaded with seeds. So like right here, you can already see we have seeds germinating. So not only are we putting the seeds down that we just spread, but whatever they have in their hay field is coming down. And there's probably some weeds, but weed seeds are actually really good for your animals, because weeds kind of are like an herb. So the animals will eat different kinds of grasses and forages, which is good for their health, which is in return is good for our health. So this is a long game, kind of taking the time to do it now, and this will pay dividends over years.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not looking forward to this. I haven't been looking forward to it since we did it over by the house. The only good part is there's not as many bales left. So we did 9 bales and we have 6 bales. So 6 bales is what we got. That's all we can do.
All right, 1 down, 5 more to go. And that covered a good area, so I'm happy with that. All right, that went pretty far, almost done.
not any more fun than I thought it was going to be.
No. The first 2 bales unrolled really nice. That last bale, it fought me the whole time. It took us probably longer to spread that one than it did those first 2. So now we're going to switch. We're going to seed down this lower area, and then we'll put some Redmonds, and then we'll stop putting a bale of hay out here to keep this from washing away up above.
So there's that bale and then 2 more.
So
we have 3 bales left.
Right. All right, we're gonna go for it, see how far we get. If we have to, we'll come back in and load up. All right, it looks like we got a pretty good mix. I can see the Redmonds, and I can also see some seeds mixed in, like there's a red clover, white clover. So I think that's gonna be a good ratio right there. All right, we got all the rocks picked up on this side. We're gonna mix up another batch of seed and Redmonds grow and get it spread over there, and then we can put a bale of hay over there. We wanna see how that goes, see if we need 2. If not, we'll use this last bale over here. We just wanna make sure we get any like the big runoff areas covered first, because we wanna have as little amount of ruts as possible. All right, let's get that one spread. Whew, shit dusty. Still coming out. I think we got some good coverage. All right, one more bale left. Got it in you?
Barely. Get it? I should say barely.
We'll put it on that side.
What side?
That side.
Right there?
Yep. Well, that is the last of the 6 round bales. That makes 15 total that we spread out. Not today, but this summer. Man, it's a lot of work in the hot sun and dirty work. That's for sure. I'm glad we got it all done. In the really bad areas where the water runs before it rains, it's gonna be interesting to see once we start getting all the rain, how it holds up, what gets washed out, what gets rutted up, and if any water sits anywhere. I want to put some more of the Redmonds on top of the hay, but I'm going to wait to do that till after the rain. We have a couple of inches coming over the next week and a half of rain, and I'm assuming that a lot of that's going to get washed out if it's heavy rain. Still don't know, so I'll spread more Redmonds after we get all this rain, but it's looking good. I'm going to be needing more stone for where the future barn's going to go. That is all weather dependent and when the guys can get here with the stones. That's what we're waiting on for that. So with the rain, maybe they'll show up, maybe they won't. I'm not sure, but man, it is looking good. I'm sure Gina's just as happy to have it done as I am. What do you say?
More.
More than happy. Works for me. Well, I guess we finished just in time. I don't know if you can see it raining over there, but it's raining. I got a chicken on the pellet grill, and that's what we're gonna have for dinner. If you guys never did any cooking on a pellet grill, you don't know what you're missing out on. You get the nice grill with like the smokiness. Oh, it looks so beautiful. Doesn't that look good? Well, we're gonna go and eat that. So this is where we're gonna end the video. Thanks for coming along on our homesteading journey. Can't wait to see, I shouldn't say I can't wait, but it'll be interesting to see how down below looks like after we get all this rain. We'll show that in the next video. Thanks for coming along, and we'll see you right back here in the next video. Bye.